Hey everyone, welcome to yet another lesson on grammatical range. This is part 2 of what we did last week. Last week I did a video on compound complex structures and I also did a little bit of passive voice. If you want to check out that video, please go click this suggestion. I also did conditionals as mentioned here. Now this week what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you about passive voice, about relative and interrogative pronouns. Let's get started with passive voice first. Let me quickly define you and quickly sum up what I did last week and I'll tell you how it is formed. Yeah? Passive voice is something that's used to define a responsibility. Define something that is being happened to someone or something. Every sentence has a subject that does the action and has an object that is being acted upon. Now what you will do to form passive voice is to interchange their positions. Interchange the position of the subject and the object. Next, you will have to check the tense of the main verb and see what that tense is. You have to be able to identify that. Now remember I said you have to learn grammar concepts other than passive voice. This is what I meant. So if you have to know passive voice, you have to know what a subject and an object is, and you have to know to identify tenses. Now you have to give that tense to the verb be, and once you do that, you have to change the verb of the main verb that's there in the sentence. You change it to the third form or the past participle. Take a look at an example. The active voice sentence is no one understands my concerns. This particular sentence talks about actions of no one. That's the subject here. The object is my concerns. Okay, that's what no one understands. And the main verb tense, the main verb here is understands, and the tense is simple present or just present tense. Now the third form of understand or the past participle of understand is understood. Now we have identified these things. Let's look at how passive voice is framed. Passive voice of that particular sentence, my concerns are understood by no one. Right? My concerns is the object, by no one is the subject, are simple present of the verb be, understood past participle of the verb understand. This is how passive voice is formed. Let's move ahead to understand another concept now. We have relative pronouns. Now, why exactly are relative pronouns so important in IELTS, and why do they exactly contribute to you writing good sentences or having good grammatical range? Is because of this. These pronouns, that or which or who or whom, whose, all these are called relative pronouns, and they are used to make references to the subject or the object of a certain sentence. Now, we'll get into who and whom later, but I want to focus on that and which because that's such a misunderstood concept by many. And okay, so let's look at an example of that and one example of which. This is the sentence that you should be reading. That's the answer. The sentence which you should be reading is written by me. Okay. Now take a look at both these sentences. Now in the second sentence, both the pronouns that and which refer to this particular noun here, which is in bold. But the problem here is your reference is not restricted to a certain activity. Right? Now this sentence which you should be reading is written by me. Now you are not trying to define something specific about that sentence here. You are trying to say that this is the one that you should be reading and this is what is written by me. That's all. But whereas in this case it is very clear with the pronoun that this is exactly what you should be doing. You can't do anything else. Now, another way of improving your grammatical range score is by using interrogative pronouns. Now, this is also called indirect speech. Take a look at these examples and I'm going to highlight the interrogative pronouns that are used to ask questions like why, what, and if you have a yes or a no question, you generally use if in that case. Now, when you use these pronouns, I do not know why there is no response. I'm trying to understand what she said to me. I don't know if I should go out. Now, when you're using these pronouns here, in a way, you're also framing complex structures. So it's adding to your variety of sentence structures apart from doing what you did last week, right? So I hope this lesson helped you understand the different ways of improving your grammatical range. Now, the point that I'm trying to make is, although they're very important for grammatical range, you can't be using these sentence structures with every sentence that you write or speak. The focus is to use them when they form a good continuity to your earlier sentence and not unnecessarily. Okay, so I hope you found the lesson useful, and please reach out in the comment section in case you have queries. I will be more than happy to answer them. Okay, now in case you want to be coached by me and are wondering what I do in my advanced programs, I definitely give you quizzes and I teach this as an entire live class in the grammar week. Right? So if you want to be coached by me, please make sure you fill up the admissions form that's there in the description of this video, and we will reach out to you telling you which program suits you the best. Now, if you're someone who wants to contribute to the cause of COVID through us, you can check out the link that's there in the suggestions right now. I'll also leave the link to donate in the video description, and 50% of whatever you've paid will go to an NGO. Right? You can do this by downloading the app. All details are there in the description. I'll see you in another video. Until then, make sure you are active in your preparation, you're consistent, and stay safe. Bye-bye.